know that the former governor of Kano State, Umar Abdullahi Ganduje, who is the chairman of the APC, has resigned his position. The deputy national chairman north of the APC, Mr. Ali Bukar Daluri, has now replaced Abdullahi Ganduje as the national chairman of the party. In all of this happened when Mr. Ganduje is said to have resigned, giving urgent and important personal matters. Now, based on that resignation, which takes effect immediately, Mr. Daluri is to take charge of the party in acting capacity, and the party has been notified to summon a NEC meeting where the discussion in filling the vacancy will be held. But in all of this, there is an agitation. Don't forget how we all started. At the neck of the party, during the Buhari era, there was an election which brought the former governor of Nasarawa State as the national chairman of the party. And in that, they were the ones who midwife the primaries of the party, which saw Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the candidate of the APC. In that, as soon sometimes the former governor of Kano State was now being told to take charge as the national chairman of the party at one of the party's NEC meeting. Now, the North Central, from which the former national chairman, the former Nasarawa State governor comes from, are now agitating, saying they want a replacement of Mr. Ganduje from their ranks, and there are now names that are propping up as to the possible replacement of Mr. Ganduje. And we've now heard about Senator Sani Musa from Niger State, North Central region, Senator Al-Makura, a former governor of Nasarawa State, from North Central. The incumbent, SGF, is also being tipped to now lead the party, and that's Senator George Akume. His name has come up, whether that's true or not, because the presidency said the story about Akume coming to becoming the chairman of the party is false, and that is not happening. Also, another name that has come up is Joshua Dariye, a former governor of Plateau State, same in the North Central. Don't forget also that George Akume is from Benue State. All of them are from North Central. In fact, we have heard that Yaya Bello's name has also come up. But as far as we know, within the APC, these are the names that we know. Before Umar Ganduje came as the chairman of the party, there are those who have agitated about this. And one of them is Dominic Alancha, who is a member of the APC and a very strong voice within the North Central region of the party. Dominic Alancha is live for us here in our studio. Thanks so much, Mr. Alancha, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Did you see Mr. Ganduje's resignation coming?
Well, you know, when he met, those of us from the North Central felt that the party has not been very fair to the North Central region, who have been, you know, flipping APC since 2015 to 2023. And, you know, like you rightly said, during the era of President Muhammadu Buhari, a convention was held, I think, in 2020 or thereabout, and sorry, in 2022, and Dr. Abdullahi Ademu, you know, the former governor of Nasarawa State, emerged, and along the line, you know, he also resigned. And the party constitution, Article 31(5), clearly stated, you know, what should be done should a vacancy exist. Should a vacancy exist, what the party need to do, you know, if you read that article, is for the state, the state to, you know, to go back to the state and then nominate somebody and send it to the NEC for ratification.
Is it the state or the region or the zone?
Yeah, it comes, you know, the zoning formula will go to the region, then the region will sit and then spread it. You know, North Central, you know, had the national chairman, the deputy national secretary, and then the deputy publicity, national publicity secretary, and some other positions that were zoned, to the North Central. Nasarawa State, the national chairman was zoned to Nasarawa State, while other positions were zoned to Plateau, to Niger, Kogi, and and stuff like that. So ideally, they were supposed to return, to Nasarawa State and get his replacement. That is what our party constitution says. I have the constitution here. If you permit me, I would like to read it.
So your party was in contravention of its own
Absolutely, they were in contravention.
Ganduje's
Imagine. So we didn't want to go to court because we were just coming out of election, and there were a lot of crises.
It was said that it was based on the request of the president.
Yes, it was based on the request of the president, but that does not mean that, the request of the president should be at variance, with our party constitution. So because the party constitution is the grand norms, of
some
our
of
party.
you disagreed with the position at the time. You refused to challenge it in court.
We refused to challenge it in court in the interest of the party, advocating and pushing for his resignation, so that, the party will not, be engulfed with crisis. If we go to the court, I'm telling you, based on what, our party constitution stipulated, we would have booted him out of that place long before now.
But
I think his resignation, at this material time, is welcome and is at the right time for him to have led, because, the party at the national, Nigerians may think we are doing well at the national, but when you get to the grassroots, there is a lot of, grievances. People are, are having a lot of grievances. They are not too happy with the party. Most of, the defection is sounding as if, all is well. But I challenge people, those that are defecting in National Assembly, how many of them have defected in their ward? How many of them have gone back to their unit, to their constituency, to defect to the party? So his resignation at this material time, is a welcome development, and all we are asking the party to do, like they said, they are going to convene a national, a net meeting to discuss the vacancy, is to return the position to the North Central. We understand that the deputy national chairman, North, Ali Bukar Dalori, is in charge in acting capacity. We will support him to midwife a convention, because we know he has the capacity, he has the competence to do the right thing and to do the needful in order to, reinstate the confidence of the grassroots members of this great political party.
Abdullah Adamu was not the only one who resigned in 2023 July. Iyola Omishore was the national secretary.
You can see that.
Okay. Iyola Omishore was also resigned alongside, and this was said to be the request on the orders of the president. There are a lot of issues that were raised that led to the resignation of Abdullah Adamu and Senator Iyola Omishore. But the replacement of Iyola Omishore from Osun State Southwest in the national secretary, there are a lot of people who say it was perfect, because we had the same man from the same state, from the same zone, and a person of Senator Ajebola Batiru, who replaced Senator Iyola Omishore from the same area. But in the case of Abdullah Adamu from Nasarawa North Central, was replaced by Umar Abdullah Ganduje from Kano Northwest. And so your asking now is that the president should go back to what he was supposed to have done.
Absolutely, because that is the ideal thing to do in the interest of the party, for the unity of the party, and to, for the fact that the party needs to be strengthened, at the grassroots, So the president, should convey a net meeting where they will look at, sustain the initial zoning formula, which zone the national chairmanship position to the North Central, Nasarawa State, or, but first let's even look at the North Central, because this thing is about our region.
We've had the names that have been placed that we put on the screen.
Yes.
And these are the top names that we're hearing.
Absolutely.
As possible replacement.
Yes.
But in truth, right, in truth, a lot of people in the party say Ganduje did not resign ordinarily, and it wasn't a push from the North Central, but something really happened. What happened?
Well, there are a lot of rumors, but I can tell you from the North Central that we pushed for his resignation. because this is our position and we cannot fold our hand, and look at him stroll our position, because you see, the Northwest even have not been fair to us. During the National Assembly election, all the principal offices were zoned, were taken by the Northwest. We had the Senate President, the Speaker from Northwest. We had the Deputy Senate President from Northwest. Ideally it's supposed to be spread across the region, which would have, balanced the equation, So we push for it, but there are rumors that Ganduje resigned because he's shutting the door against Kwankwaso from coming in. And Shehu, that is political malpractice, according to the president. Not to allow, you cannot open your doors to, the governors, members of National Assembly from other political party. You cannot open your doors, and receive governors of Governor of Akwa Ibom and Delta, and then you shut the door against, an individual from your own very state from joining the party. And the president said it's a political malpractice. And it's
invariably, it means that if Kwankwaso come into the APC, there's a likelihood that the governor of Kano might follow suit.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that means Kano is all undone for APC.
For APC. And Kano is very strategic, as far as 2027 is concerned, considering the
Your party lost it, but you still got about 500,000
Yeah,
votes.
we got about 500,000 votes.
And that's the reason why a lot of people say Northwest is very important for you.
Absolutely.
They produce the president.
All the regions are very important. All the regions are very important. If you look at the data, the statistics in terms of the percentage of winning in 2023, North Central was stopping second. Yeah. Even ahead of the Northwest, the Southwest, where the president comes from. So all the regions are very important. But what we are saying in this particular time, at this particular time, the party needs to be strengthened, from the grassroots level. And the North Central, members of this great party are not too happy unless and until the position of the national chairman is returned to them.
Give me a moment. Let's know officially from the party, when will this next meeting happens, and exactly what is the communication? Mr. Dallery, of course, is taking charge. Your final word tonight.
Well,
because you are speaking for your brothers and sisters in the North Central region.
Absolutely. We'll continue to agitate, and I believe that the party will do the needful, when they meet at the neck level, to rezone the position back to the North Central. And the ideal thing to do is to support the process leading to the next convention so that the zoning formula will be maintained. North Central have eminently qualified. You just, read out their names. The likes of Tonko Almakura, who was a contestant in the last election. He was a former governor, and he has, pioneer CPC member. You need somebody with institutional memory. So I think the North Central has persons that are eminently qualified to drive, the party to victory in 2027.
If this does not happen, we understand that some of you who are from the CPC bloc might be
actually
angry.
Some persons had wanted to leave the CPC, but Almakura mobilized them back to the party because this is the only party we have for now. Coalition cannot work and it cannot stand. We can't gamble our destiny.
Dominic Alancha, a member of the APC from the North Central region. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight.
Thank you very much.